Good evening, everyone. Chris Phillipson here. Today is Tuesday, December 9th, 2025, and welcome to episode 3 of Build With Me. Well, today I thought we'd change things up and talk a little bit about whether or not generative AI is useful for modernization efforts. So I have a portfolio of Java projects that I've been maintaining for quite some time, and they're under the umbrella of CF tool suite. Let me bring this up here. Right. So there's what, 16 repositories. All of them are Java. And I learned about 3 weeks ago that the Spring team released Spring Boot and a little bit later Spring Cloud. So updates to both of these projects. They're major releases. So here we have the migration guide for Spring Boot 4, and we have some release notes for the release of Spring Cloud that works with Spring Framework 7 and Spring Boot 4. And so I've been around the block on this kind of stuff. Every time there's a major release, before we had the use of AI, there were tools that we'd use. There, if you're bought into the Java ecosystem, there are build engines like Maven and Gradle, and probably some others that folks are using. But most of my projects in CF Tool Suite are Maven builds. So of course you go digging around, looking at dependencies. You have to pay particular attention to conflicting dependencies. You have to pay attention to breaking API changes, configuration changes between releases. It can be a real pain. A few years back, there was an open source project release. It's called Open Rewrite. I think Jonathan Snyder and Olga Kozniks and team over at Modern kind of caretake this. There's a kind of the community stuff they have bundled up in recipes. And these recipes are really useful. They can, basically do like coarse grain, composite oriented updates. So like if you pick a recipe, it'll go back and bring you kind of up to date, etc. And they've got, Gradle and Maven support, along with if you're bought into the commercial platform of Modern, you've got their CLI, and it will help you, go about the efforts of, modernizing your code base. But you have to know the recipes, right? You have to know which recipes to run, etc. So there's some, I don't know, let's just say there's some effort here, right? There's some toil, and you got to be familiar with things. So I wanted to take a little bit of a naive approach, and I'm sure folks have tried this path before. But hey, let's learn and fail or succeed together here in this episode. So that's just the backdrop for what I'm going to try and do. So I picked one of the projects in the CF tool suite. It's a CF archivist. And I went to Claude Code and I decided to kind of gin up a prompt here. I'm in the midst of upgrading Spring Boot from 3.5 to 4.0 and Spring Cloud dependencies from 2025 to 2025.1. There's migration guides, so I link the guides and the release notes for Spring Cloud, and I want you to follow the links. Are able to peruse the source and make adjustments necessary in order for the project to build cleanly with Maven using Maven Clean Package. You might also consider the use of recipes from Open Rewrite, and I referenced one that I found. So here, it's going off and it's thought, and now it's come back and it's asking me, I guess, a clarifying question before it wants to, complete the plan, because I've got myself in plan mode here. Do I opt for manual fixes or open rewrite first and then manual fixes, or let Claude decide? I think I'm going to go for the middle option and see what happens. So it's going to go off and use that answer to hopefully complete the plan. Let's see how long this takes. Federated honky Stallman. What kind of naming is that? Okay, so let's just see what it came back with here. Ready to code. All right, let's see what else it put in here. Migration plan summary. Root cause. Modular architecture relocated many of the auto configuration classes. So there's a package name change, it looks like, for a few of these classes that I have in my class path. Interesting. Removed, replaced with path pattern request matcher. Okay. Run open rewrite. So it's going to run that recipe. It's going to verify the build and fix any remaining issues manually. It's going to update the application YAML for renamed properties. It's going to remove the ribbon configuration. So I guess that's no longer supported. Ribbon was a load balancer back in the day. Let's see. Files to be modified, sources consulted. Here's the Claude plan. And it's giving us kind of the rundown of what it's going to go and try and do. Okay. Interesting. Various breaking changes. Oh, interesting. Various breaking changes for Jackson 3, J specify nullability, and Spring Framework 7. Huh. Not Apple project uses Spring Boot started. All Spring Cloud components have reached version 5. Potential runtime issues to watch. Vaadin compatibility. Virtual threads. Ooh. Yeah, that CFENV library is what I've been using to uh, kind of configure and connect to Cloud Foundry instances using the Java client. Okay, interesting. All right, well, let's give it a go. Let me implement the migration. We are running the recipe first. Okay, sure. Yeah. Couldn't run because the product doesn't compile. This is expected since Open Rewrite needs to parse the source code. Let me fix the compilation errors manually. All right. Great. It's going off and editing files. IDE diagnostics are temporary as the project isn't fully compiled yet. Fine. Now I need to replace the path matcher, pattern request matcher. Okay. Okay, it's made some configuration changes. It's removed the load balancer configuration. Okay. And now it's going to try and compile. Let's see what we got here. Good progress. The original 11 errors are now down to 3, all related to SendGrid. Okay, this is what I'm one of the mail providers that this application uses. Let's see if it can figure this out. Okay, let me update the Palm. Okay, let's see what happens. All right, looks like it's going to try and compile again here. Okay, that's nice. Now let's get on to packaging. Um, Okay, interesting. Okay, well, it ran everything without running tests, and I bet there may be some issues. So I'm going to go ahead and run this again. This time it's going to run the test. Let's see what happens. Huh, okay, some failures here. Class not found, exception, blah, 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 blah. So if we went back to Claude, we resume the session that we were in, and I say, great, but we need to test packaging with tests. So can you try again? If you see errors, please diagnose and try to fix. My typing is not especially good here at 8:53 Pacific time. It's the end of my day, but here I am. I'm building, and you're on the ride along with me here. Let's see. All right. So it found what we saw earlier. What's it going to do? Due to a missing class. Okay, the WebMVC auto configuration. This is another Spring Boot 4 modular architecture change. Web starters were renamed. The reference is not in our code directly. Let me check the test file and look for what's causing this. Hmm. Interesting. Look at that. So there could be some compatibility going on here. Compatibility issues to fix. Um, okay. Let's see what happens. Problem is that let's build for. Let me check if there's a newer VOD version that supports Spring Boot 4. Okay. Let's see. Are we feeling lucky? I'm not sure. VOD 25 is needed. Okay. Interesting. Let me check the latest VOD 25 version. I don't think VOD 25 has a stable version. I think they're still like in beta or something like that. Let's see. Vaadin is a UI Java framework. It's a fantastic framework, by the way. If you are a Java programmer and you don't want to learn other frameworks, and you want to just kind of stay in your lane, you can actually code up interfaces directly in Java. It's pretty nice. And the Java gets transpiled, I think, to JavaScript when you compile. Oh yeah, there we go. 25 dash beta 9. Yes. Okay, let's give it another go. Let's try to compile again and run the tests. The build is still in progress. Let me wait for it to complete. Vaadin 25 has breaking changes. Several deprecated classes have been removed. Let me update the to-do list and fix these issues. Oh, we got to use Lumo. Can't use material. Oh, interesting. Got to use native label. Got to use Vaadin security configurer. Let's see how many files have changed in the meanwhile. So of course we have the updates to our POM file. I updated the Maven version to the latest 3.9.11. These are code changes. We saw the configuration changes earlier. What else is it going to do? Aha, look at that. Let's update the security config. Okay. Awesome. Just doing a security filter chain. I do wonder if this is going to be compatible. One interesting fact is that this project was implemented with reactive or the reactor, project reactor, and so I do wonder how this is all going to work out. at runtime. We'll see. Okay, grid tile to tile. Or sorry, it's changing the label within the grid tile component. That's a custom component I made. Okay, native label, fine. More native label stuff. Let's run the build again. This is failing. There's a different error now. This is a Spring Boot modular change. The WebFlux auto configuration is now in a separate module. We need, yes. This was what I was talking about when I was talking about the, oh yeah, we need to fix the reference, right? We did fix the path there for codecs. Okay. So far, so good. I mean, I know we're a little more than 20 minutes into this exercise, but it seems to be making the right moves. Um, the proof will be in whether or not we're able to get a good compile. I may save runtime tests for the next episode because I'm going to need a a platform to test this on, right? I'm going to need to deploy it to Cloud Foundry, and I'm going to have to knock on some doors to some ex-colleagues to see if I can get access to an environment to be able to do that. And then I can show you this application actually working and having been modernized. So we'll save that exercise for tomorrow. Let's just see if we can get a good build tonight. Okay, what are we doing here? It wants to add another dependency. All right, web client dependency. Yes, we will let the IDE sync. Yes, let's run the build again. I can just imagine enterprises that have vast inventories of Java applications that are running on older versions of Java, of the Spring Framework, Spring Boot, Spring Cloud. There's a lot of toil involved. And I know the company I used to work for, we had some product and services to kind of help with that effort. But if you're one such enterprise, I would highly recommend you take a look at Modern. They've got a really nice automation platform to make the pain of modernization and migration feel a little less than it is. But you're seeing this stuff right now. This is what we're seeing here in action. So what did we get here? Did we get success? Huh. Wait a minute. What? I might have spoken too soon. Build success. Look at this. The project now builds success with test passing. Here's a complete summary of the changes. Well, look at there. Okay, that's awesome. So let's do this. Can you craft a git commit message summarizing these changes and go ahead, git commit them? Normally, I would use a specially crafted Claude Code command, and I would just do / git :commit because I have something like that, and it would do the things that I'm prompting here. But I think we're going to get to a place where this is going to get committed with a nice commit message explaining all the things that changed. That's awesome. Do I want to proceed? Yes. Okay. Now I'm just going to push this up to GitHub. And I've got some automation, some GitHub workflow automation that should hopefully confirm what we saw here locally, that it should build with success, having run the tests. All right, folks. I hope you learned something here. I I learned that there's still a lot of toil involved in modernizing projects, but it looks like we're at a state where generative AI, in particular Claude Code and Opus 4.5, can really help. And so I'm going to be doing this with the rest of the projects in my portfolio. I'm going to see if I can't do this a little more systematically, maybe orchestrate a little bit where I don't have to sit there and watch it. It just let it go off and do it. So, yeah. All right, folks, until tomorrow, I will see if I can't get this thing packaged and deployed and be able to demo this stuff tomorrow for you. See ya.